I believe that the success of that ministry, we've just finished 10 years, is because we have followed all along the plan God gave from us in the beginning, and it was to start through the local church. And so we started out with local church support, prayers, and all those things. And the principles that God gave us are still the same principles that we operate under today. And the first one, of course, is to show love, demonstrate love of God to everybody that comes in to House of Blessing. We diligently try to do that because most of the women who come have never known much to do with love. They're abused, often feel very poor about themselves. And so when they come in, they're surprised often to find out that we don't look at that, but we just shower them with love and care. And the second thing is that to teach the good news. And that, of course, is key to the ministry. And some people are not comfortable with that in the beginning, but we ask them to sit in the meetings. And the women who stay 6 months or longer, about 86% of them make a decision for Christ. So it's on the right thing. And the third thing is help them develop a plan for stability that, if followed, will lead them to stability down the road. Most of them have no means of making a living except welfare. And so some have to go to school, and so we help them with that. And the fourth one is one we found to be really key, and that's to help them find community in a local church. And while that sounds very easy to some people, it's probably the most difficult thing. And we work many years trying to perfect or find ways to make this happen in a more intentional way. But we are very diligent about visiting and talking with other churches that are in our area to find out, because not all of them really teach the gospel in the way that we want our women to hear. So we've been very fortunate to find some churches who are very diligent with that. And then we take them to church every Sunday. Again, some are kind of resistant of that, and they'll sit on the back pew and folded arms and try not to listen. But we found that over time, God kind of opens that up. And when 86% of the people who stay 6 months or longer come to Christ, we know we're on the right track. And our requirements for the churches we take our women to are very simple. And one is they teach the Bible and only the Bible, and that they love all God's children. They welcome anybody who comes. And those are just three simple things that are harder to find than most people would believe. We encourage them when they get into the church to join the small groups that are appropriate to their age, and sometimes they're support groups. And we encourage them and go with them. Our leadership goes with them to attend the fellowship things of the church. And after a while, they begin to see themselves as a part of the church. And we follow through for about a year and try to see how many stay after they leave House of Blessing. And a good many do. We have people in the church that is over there now, who's called Abundant Life, by the way, awesome little church. And about 60% of the women that go there are still there after a year. So we think that's pretty good. But our ministry, the church often will come along. We don't even ask them for financial support, but they usually always come through and do that because they come to believe in our program. And we had, this past year has been different because of the pandemic, but before that, the last year before the pandemic, we had 10 of our women baptized in that church. And so they consider themselves members. They're treated like anybody else, and that's a great help to their, and sometimes even when they're still in our program, they bring their families in. A good many of our women have children in foster care, and they begin to, as they see themselves worthy, they begin to want something better for their children. And so we have all the tools there to help them stabilize and be better parents than they maybe had coming along, because so many of our women have been abused. Many never knew their father, which may be surprising to some people, that so many women don't even know who their father is. And sometimes the mother as well. But the mothers that are there often drug addicts, or they're solely dysfunctional and chronically homeless as well. So they need to really rise above a lot of barriers to become stable. And again, the church is key, because there they meet people who are stable and who are willing to come alongside them and make them feel like one of them. I know that is a rare thing, and I want to really, praise Abundant Life for being that, encourage more churches to intentionally look around for those people who don't quite fit in. The women that come to us, they have no experience with the kind of socialization that most of us find in church, and they feel inferior. They feel like, whether anybody says it or not, that people are looking down on them and judging them in a disfavorable way. And so it's up to the church really to help them overcome that.